What if you could get inside the mind of an NBA champion? Not just to hear his story, but to understand how he thinks, how he builds, and how he's using Web3 to flip the sports world on its head. This isn't just another courtside interview.
Versus drive, shot blocked by Thompson.
Tristan Thompson opens up, not just about what it takes to win on the floor, but what happens after the buzzer, the business deals, the missteps, the lessons that no one teaches you unless you live it. This is a story of a man who defied every expectation, from government housing in Toronto to the brightest lights in sports.
We're living in government housing, living off government aid. I come from the blue collar, the mindset, eat what you kill mentality, right? So I think that's kind of what's been the driving force for me.
He talks about it all. The pressure of being the oldest sibling in a blue collar family, the aftermath of winning Cleveland's first championship in 52 years, and the moment he got rugged by his own financial advisor, and how it lit a fire underneath him.
Here at BlackRock, we manage trillions of dollars to about 50 countries, and we think Bitcoin is too volatile, and we don't make our clients put their money into it because it's not safe and it's no good and this, that, and the third. They closed the door on it. So I said, okay, I'm onto something. So that made me more.
Are they still managing your money?
No.
But more than anything, we talk about what's next. While Tristan's still suiting up in the NBA, he's also building Tracy AI, a project that gives you, the fan, access to the same level of stats, insights, and predictions that the pros use. Because he believes the game shouldn't be played, it should be understood.
I look at crypto as another avenue to create that, to help the generation behind me, to help put them in a better position to have success.
Tracy AI is that vision, blending blockchain, AI, and next-gen fandom to empower people who've always been left on the outside. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's hear it straight from the source. Welcome, Tristan Thompson. Tristan, welcome. Good to have you here today, buddy. How you doing?
Appreciate it, Carl. Thank you for having me.
Cool. So, Tristan, for those who may not be familiar with you, who is Tristan Thompson on and off of the court?
Well, I mean, that's a loaded question, but I think obviously the low-hanging fruit is obviously, Tristan Thompson currently playing 14 years in the NBA, won NBA Championship in 2016. Basketball has been my first passion and love since day one. I've had a lot of success. Currently, I'm the best team in the NBA right now, Cleveland Cavaliers. You see the C repping the team apparel, team gear. So
whoop, whoop.
No, well, that's great. And then off the court, obviously father, 4 kids, 4 beautiful children, 3 boys, 1 girl. Just a man that's trying to figure out ways to continue on with a legacy and keep building, whether it's on and off the court. Of course, basketball has taken me to new heights I've never imagined. Especially me being from Toronto, being Canadian as well. Growing up, making NBA was kind of a far-fetched dream. Me telling people that was my goal, they were saying you have a better chance of being a school teacher than making an NBA. But I know, right? But no, I use that as motivation, and I'm here now, and then I've been very fortunate to get into a space that I'm very intrigued about and develop such a great passion, which is the Web3 and crypto space. I think for me, I look at it as another form of tool of financial literacy. That's something that I pride myself on, especially being from where I'm from. Not a lot of people are given the education and tools in terms of financial literacy. Whether it's managing a book, whether it's creating passive income, understanding checks and balances, how to manage your money, what to do with your money, how to sustain wealth or create wealth. So for me, I look at crypto as another avenue to create that, to help the generation behind me, to help put them in a better position to have success. I think that's for me, that's my DNA, is how can I position those that look up to me or behind me in a position where they can be successful and have the tools to put in some position to help others.
Yeah. So when you said that, especially someone like you, ability to have financial literacy and kind of be in a position where you're at now, did you mean that you came from like a really poor neighborhood or something like that, or a poor upbringing?
Yeah, no, where I'm from in Toronto, we're living in government housing, living off, government aid. My mom and dad at the time, my mom worked 3 jobs, school bus driver, she'd bag groceries, and she'd do some housekeeping stuff. My father was a construction worker, so he'd be up at 6 a.m. going to a job site, and he wouldn't return back till 6 p.m. So I come from the blue collar, the kind of the mindset, eat what you kill mentality, right? So I think that's kind of what's been the driving force for me to always want to do more and achieve more in life, because I've seen how hard my parents worked to just put food on the table. That's kind of been my upbringing. That's how it was. And, for me being the oldest of 4, I have 4 younger brothers. I'm, the pioneer, right? At the end of the day, I take a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. And anyone that's the oldest in their family understand that you kind of lead the charge in the household first, in terms of kind of creating a pathway or a runway for your younger siblings. And, obviously it comes with a lot of pressure and responsibility, but I've accepted that. And I've been pretty blessed and fortunate to be able to do some great things to help my family and my siblings to be in a position where, we were better now than we were, 25 years ago. Yeah. But for me, having a Jamaican background and my mom and dad being such a workhorse and always knowing and saying, you should always want the best for yourself. We're making these sacrifices as parents because of our duty, but we're doing this to put you in the best position possible. But we also need you to have that ambition and drive. And that's one thing I give a lot of credit to my parents, especially my mother. She always told me, always have manners, always say yes and please, but always have ambition in heart. Because if people see that and notice that about you, they'll give you the clothes off their back to help you elevate and lift you up.
So Ben, man, you're a champion. Like, what does that feel like?
I mean, the way we won the championship, we're the first team ever to come back from a 3-1 deficit in the NBA Finals and win a championship. We're the only team to do that, and probably might be the only team to ever do that, which would be a great accomplishment to be just a one of one. So for us to, in the style of fashion that we were able to do it in, and coming back from 3-1, and almost the one thing about Cleveland people, one thing you'll know is that they're very blue collar and very like tough, hard nosed, like we're going to earn this and we're going to have a chip on our shoulder because we've always been like undervalued, right? They when the automotive industry was huge, Detroit was the big players. Then everybody moved to Chicago. So Cleveland's always been second, third fiddle to the Midwest market, right? So obviously you have that little edge. So with us being able to win, all I thought about were the people that I would meet and say, my grandpa remembers the Super Bowl 4 and Jim Brown. And like, you hear these stories and we won a championship. I remember there was a 6-year-old man came up to me and said, he started crying. He said, thank you so much for winning this championship, where I could see, before I pass away and die, I could see Cleveland, the city of a champion. So, when we won, I thought about those moments and all those stories, but it's nothing better than being at the mountaintop. Listen, when you win a championship, that summer, the way you are embraced and loved, and the style of fashion, and obviously, playing with arguably one of the best players that ever played the game, LeBron James, him winning a championship in Cleveland, being from Akron, so all that tied and all that narrative, everyone knew, this was kind of the championship that meant the most to him because of everything that was behind it, right? So with us winning a championship, I mean, when we won, we took the team plane with the entire staff and we flew right to Las Vegas. We went to Vegas, we were ready to access the entire staff, everybody from the players all the way to the trainers and the media staff that does media for us and books our media appointments and like, so the entire group, maybe about a 80 passenger crew. We all went to Vegas and shout out Dan Gilbert, the owner of our team. He took care of the whole bill. I think the bill was $181,000. He just paid for it because he was like, you guys won. Let's do it up and party. And I will say, no one has done it like us since winning the championship. I'm just saying that. But no, that was great. And the parade was amazing. I think till this day, we have the biggest parade in sports. I think we had a total of, 1.4 million people attend the parade. So that just shows how much like people from Northeast Ohio were like really, really like excited and happy that this curse was broken.
Okay, so now let's get into crypto a little bit. It's we starting to see, we see some celebrities or sports players who are kind of just not in crypto, but they've just taken some money and shouted out some things, and
the bullshit.
Those haven't gone well. But for you, when did you get into crypto?
Actually, one of my really good friends I grew up with, his name is Hadi. He's actually my partner in the space. He actually the one that kind of introduced me to it because
is Hadi the one I met in Singapore?
Yes, you met Hadi in Singapore at Token. Yes. So he's the one that kind of introduced me to the space, because how it started for him. I give him a little background on his journey into the space that got me into the space was that he really originally started during the NFT era. That's when he got to the space with NFTs and the Bored Apes and then the Murakami NFTs. And for me, I'm an art collector, right? And I collect art and like art on the wall type of collections, right? So when he was talking to me about these NFTs, I'm like, okay, it's digital art. I'm like, so where do you put it? So remember, I'm coming from like the normie mindset. Like I'm coming from the old school mindset. Like, all right, so where do I put this art? And he's like, like on a screen or a monitor. So I'm like, so you guys are paying 6 figures to put something of digital asset on your TV screen? He's like, yeah. But I'm like, so if I want to watch TV, I can't look at my art? He's like, no. I was like, okay. I'm like, hey, I'm like, I don't know this enough. Enjoy it. I'm gonna buy my art that's on the wall. It is what it is. And obviously, NFT had its moment, obviously had its bubble, and the bubble burst a little bit, and it's probably more of a flat market now. So now, about 14 months ago, Hadi is going to his wife's dinner, and he calls me, and he's like, man, like one of the guys I knew from back like during the NFT space called me and said, yo, open a Phantom wallet, go on Solana, and buy yourself this meme. And I was like, what's the meme? He's like, Book of Memes, go buy Book of Memes. So Hadi goes, and I think he puts like $5K into it, goes to dinner, comes back home, and I think his Phantom wallet is like 50 grand. So his head's exploding. He's calling me, and I'm like, what now, Hadi? I'm like, what is this now? He's like, this meme token, Book of Memes. Then I'm like, okay, so like, what is this? Then he's explaining to me, and I'm like, all right, bro, just if you're making money, be careful, protect yourself, like maybe take some profit, whatever it is. So for like 3 days, he's on there and he's being a DJ. He's DJing, and he's taking some profit. And he's buying other tokens. And I remember calling him because he's in LA and I'm in Cleveland, so I'm 3 hours ahead of him. So I remember I was going to practice one day, and I called him, and he's running from his computer, and I'm like, bro, have you been to sleep yet? And he's like, no, I haven't been asleep. I've been buying, trading, da-da-da. So fast forward, he goes to that moment, and then he keeps talking about it. And I'm like, okay, like, educate me more on this. Like, what is this exactly? Like, the meme space and what's going on, and the community is built. And I remember I started jumping in a couple spaces just to educate myself more about it, because for me, I'm always intrigued, because this is a sector that I'm not familiar with, but it's creating this form of, digital currency funds that people are able to take profit and use it to buy something else. So I'm like, hold on now. And obviously, like, as we kept diving into it, and I kept jumping in spaces and going on crypto Twitter and understanding, and I was like, wow, like this is like really like the next step of like the financial space and world. And I remember having a meeting with my financial advisor, and BlackRock was someone that manages our portfolio at the time. I remember having a meeting with them, and this was back in 2022, or was it 20? It was 22, 21, maybe closer to 2021. In the summertime, I remember having a meeting with them. I won't say the advisor's name, but I remember saying to them, I was like, hey, like, a lot of my friends, they own Bitcoin, and they're saying, like this could be the next big thing. Like this is the next form of a digital asset, like a dollar. Like it's going to grow and accumulate traction, and it's going to be something down the line where people are going to use it to actually pay and buy and trade and passive income. And I remember what they said to me. They said, here at BlackRock, we manage trillions of dollars to about 50 countries. And we think Bitcoin is too volatile and we don't make our clients put their money into it because it's not safe and it's no good and this, that, and the third. And I was like, okay, you guys are BlackRock. I'm gonna take your advice, right? Like, I don't know enough about the space for me to argue with, right? So
no,
I don't say much. And then, like 6 months later, you start seeing all these things about Larry Fink and all them starting to buy Bitcoin. I'm like, oh, so you little fuckers, just because I was bringing an idea that you probably wouldn't have got commission from, because I might have just went to my friends and said, hey, like, where can I just buy Bitcoin? But because you can't get the commission and you can't eat off it, you're not gonna speak highly of it or promote it to clients because you're not gonna get the commission. Like anything in business, right? Like with the centralized exchanges, when you go to those investment banking places, they're not gonna tell you to pull money out of their account, out of the portfolio, and go give it to somebody else. They're gonna talk bad and say why they're the best. So to me, it was kind of a green light, like, oh, like I'm onto something. And the fact that they didn't even like an ounce of it say it could be a good idea, maybe you should explore it. They closed the door on it. So I said, okay, I'm onto something. So that made me more.
Are they still managing your money?
Nope.
Good. So what is Tracy AI?
Yeah. So basically, Tracy AI is a fully automated sports commentator that gives you high-end analytics. So imagine a Stephen A. Smith or Malik Andrews, who are ESPN reporters or commentators, but giving you high-level analytics in basketball. That's her first level and step.
Where does it give you analytics?
So we've got APIs from different basically NBA analytic companies. Obviously, with me having access and building those relationships, I was able to gather those analytics and stats. And for me, the reason why I wanted to do this is because everyone strives, anyone that's a sports fan, always wants to know what the pros know, right? That's why Talk Sports does so well. That's why these sports networks always hire former players, because they want to give fans the brain and the ear of what the pros are thinking. So for me, it's like, how can I generate that on chain, but even with an AI usable asset where I can allow fans to interact with her to get the information they couldn't just get on, just a ESPN.com.
And are the fans getting this in some sort of like app that they have on their phone, or is it on only on X or?
Yeah, no. So for us right now, we're going to be live on X actually this week. Right now, her Twitter is live. It's not fully live because it's like I'm not too sure if you're familiar with Luna. Under the Virtuals protocol, they created Luna. She's basically her own version, creates her own brain and personality, where she's helping. I know she did something with Story Protocol to kind of help bolster their social media presence. So what we did with Virtuals, it was to help build out this tech where basically on X, you can go and interact with her right now. She's actually doing pretty well with her predictions. She's 70% spot on with the predictions with NBA games. So, and that's just all based on analytics, right? And that's just, and at the end of the day, it's a numbers game in basketball, right? You can never predict who's going to win, but sometimes your numbers can support and usually give you your best chance to win. And I think that's, in terms of people doing the prediction markets and sports betting, they'll grab anything that can help them, give them that 1% increased chance to win.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of what she does. And I think for me, it's a three-pronged thing, right? For the retail space and the average fan and consumer, it's getting the in-depth information at a high level of analytics that you can't get from ESPN.com, right? You want, like, for instance, if you ask her who's the most clutch player in the NBA right now, she will give you Darius Garland and probably Nikola Jokic. And why is that? Is because their points per game under the last 3 minutes, their field goal percentage in the crunch time segment of the game, their plus and minus, their efficiency rate, all those stats, you can't get that just typing on ESPN.com. Those are analytics that we, as the professional teams, have access to and create an algorithm to create those stats. And she has that algorithm. So from the consumer's standpoint, it allows you to really, really know. And when it comes to what, even at the barbershop when we're arguing and having a conversation, you can go on your Twitter and ask the question, she'll give you the answer. And that's just step one. Well, the way we look at this is we're going to create the app and the website where then, like, my goal is, like, if you're sitting right now watching the Lakers play Dallas and you're like, where's LeBron's best shooting area on the court? You can ask her that on your app and she'll tell you what's his best spot, most efficient spot on the court to make shots. Like, all that.
And this is stuff that you won't be able to get the answers from on, like, ChatGPT or Grok or something.
No, you won't get this on it because they don't have access to it. They don't have the APIs to this because this is all through, like, companies, whether it's Second Spectrum or Synergy. There's certain high level companies that have created these algorithms that we have access to provide it.
So, what does a roadmap look like?
So for us, our roadmap is Twitter. Obviously, have a website where you can engage in for people that want to be on their computer or desktop and do that. But obviously, have an app where for iPhones and Androids, you can download the app and engage with it. Of course, we're gonna go do a TG and let people borrow, buy against, and trade on it just to have fun and do that. But for me, it's more so like I want to actually, like, help the space where, like, people actually use it. Like, I think the problem with this meme coin narrative is that people are just buying Jordan Bell for penny stocks. It doesn't have any value, right? Like, but for the narrative now is like real world assets, right? Like, the way I look at when you do tokens, like, it's like a stock in a company, right? It's like a buying Tesla, right? It's going up and down, but it's actually a real world asset that we're going to build and branch off, because basketball is low hanging fruit, and it's who I am, right? I gravitate towards it. I can talk about it. We already currently have teams that are interested in it. But for me, it's like, let's build this out to all sports, because the Web3 world, they love sports. Crypto world loves sports.
And so you said, okay, so you're talking a little bit about the token. What is, how does the token accrue value, like versus just a meme coin or something like that? I mean, what is the use of the token within Tracy AI?
Yeah, so we've been jamming on it because we want to make sure we wanted to give as much value as possible. I think the one thing that we want Tracy to do as well, which is pretty cool, is that we want her token value, what she's accumulated, to also give back. I think as athletes, it's very important to give back to the community. And one thing we're going to do is that basically every month, we're going to pick a city out of the 30 cities in the NBA and donate to a charity, whether it's a Boys and Girls Club, whether it's like, for instance, one month it might be the Memphis Boys and Girls Club. The next one might be the New York Food Bank Shelter during Thanksgiving. Like, we want to find ways where people know if they're buying into something, they're buying into stuff that's going to help the community and help people in general, right? Because I think that's the most important thing to me, is how can we help and build that. And then, as you know how this business is, as things grow, you want to put it on, if it's on base, you go air drone it and you leverage it in DeFi. All that stuff could happen. But for me, I'm more focused on how to help people be better than where they are today to tomorrow. And then for me, I come from a place of, and I hope no one takes this the wrong way, but I'm coming from a place of not need, but want, right? Because, God has blessed me to have this career where I put myself in a position to be in a comfortable, healthy, happy financial position where I don't have to create something to, not in a bad way, but I don't have to create a product to pay my mortgage. I don't have to. I don't have to do things, and it's unfortunate. A lot of celebrities have built bad product and put a bad taste in the mouth into the space from a position because they needed the money or whatever their situation was. Right. For me, it's more like I want to do this to help the community and give back to the community and not take away.
You're quite busy. You're in the middle of going to the basketball playoffs, and you've got other businesses as well, managing your real estate. Who is the team behind Tristan AI or Tracy AI? I know that you obviously are one of the co-founders or founders. You said that you did it alongside Virtuals. So who is the team? And because you're busy.
The team is myself and Hadi. We're the guys that came up with the idea. From the Virtuals team side, I actually did a crypto dinner in SF. I've been doing that all year in different cities. Been doing like crypto dinners with founders and KOLs and people that I just met in the space. So I've done one in Miami, New York, and I did one in SF, and that's where I met Chris, who's from Virtuals, and I did a dinner with about 30 founders that are in the SF area, and we sat down and we were all jamming and talking, and during that time, Virtuals is, they were like at $4 billion, and when the market was great, and we were just talking, and we're like, we had this idea, and we just started jamming on it. Talked to Jensen and Wiki that are the founders of Virtuals, and they've been great and supportive, and they've and I give a lot of appreciation to them because they've really done a good job of like really helping put together this team, right? Because they're very familiar with the space, right? Like anything, right? I might know how I want my house to look, but I don't know how to put lumber up and put the wires up. I don't know how to do that, but I need someone to help guide me to that, to show me the right people, to meet the right people, to help create this masterpiece, create this art piece. So that's kind of the team. We have the virtual side, they have their team. We have our dev team. Another great one of our lead devs named Chasse. He's a very, very smart, educated, hardworking man. Hadi, myself, Chris, Jensen, Wiki. That's the team. Of course, we have devs underneath that are doing a great job. But one thing about this team, we're all in a line, and we do weekly calls. And I'm the type of guy who's like, guys, like, let's get this. Let's hammer this. Like, there's no time to waste because how this is in the space. You're cool today, you're hot, you're cold tomorrow. So like that's my goal in this, is to really just bring AI in general to cover all sports, because you see what AI is doing, whether it's the Gronk and the ChatGPT, like it's covering so much of like other area, like even like AI agents are basically doing interviews for jobs for Amazon. Mm-hmm. An AI agent is picking people to work for Amazon or big companies, right? So like, why wouldn't we use AI for sports? And sports is one of the biggest forms of entertainment for humanity in general. So why not give it another arm and leg that's advanced, that's just going to only help the sport and then the entertainment of it? Man, I want to keep playing till they lock the door up and throw away the key. But listen, I'm 14 years in. Listen, Father Time is undefeated unless you're LeBron James at year 22. But for me, it's I love being here in Cleveland.
Wow, LeBron's been in it for 22 years, huh? He's been
playing in the NBA for 22 years. I'm at 14, so I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna get to 22. I don't even know if I'm gonna get to 20, but I'm gonna try. But for me, it's I love the game so much. The game has been so good to me. I fell in love with it in grade 6, and I love getting up every morning and having a purpose. I love being able to like have that drive, because I'm still a competitor, and it never goes away. As an athlete, it never goes away. You just figure out different ways of being competitive. I mean, for Michael Jordan, he's just more competitive on the golf course now. He stays on the golf course for 6 hours straight daily, because that's his game within the game. So for me, I want to keep playing for as long as I can, where I can help and contribute. But of course, for me, I've positioned myself and put myself in rooms where the transition to the next life of me will be a great one, and I'm excited about it. But what I look at is now is where you carve out those lanes, right? The worst thing an athlete can do, and humans in general, is wait till the song stop playing to figure out the next track. You got to have that. You have to have that shit in queue. You have to have it queued up. So when this is done, it's the next one, right? So obviously you have the, one area that I'm really into right now, and I love it, and it's exciting because so new is the crypto space, because it almost feels like with me getting into the space, I'm almost back like how I was as a kid, with the cards stacked against me because of all the people that were celebrities that did the fucking rug pulls.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's right. I'm familiar with this territory, but it actually fuels me to go harder and have that drive, because I want to show people there are good celebrities in the space that want to be in this space, that could help this space. Because I think from my side, I could provide that distribution and understanding education compared to, the guys, and in no disrespect, the guys in the suits and tie, they can't go to a University of Texas and do a conference and a talk, and they're not going to get the same kind of ears. They might get people that are just like into politics, but imagine I'm going to University of Texas doing a sit down talking about crypto, Web3, DeFi, and how to create passive income for your family, right? Like people are going to be more gravitated toward to hear that because they're going to be like, wow, like what is this NBA player, NBA champion who's made a shitload of money coming to talk to us about crypto? If he's taking the time to do this, that means it's something that's actually important. And I think that's where it could work for both sides, that they kind of have these great faces behind it, behind what their messages is, to get it out there, because that's our goal, right? Our goal as America is to have as much power as possible, because like you saw a token, and that was my first time in Singapore, I said, like, over on that side of the world, they're already on this. This crypto Web3, like, this is
exactly.
Like, people are over there buying homes with crypto and living their life day to day with crypto. It's not like, it's not foreign. They go to, any store and give a USDC card and, like however they want to pay for things. It's already going on there, and America is behind.
Yeah, better step it up quick, because the rest of the world has had a lot of time to get ahead. Get ahead. Shit. Is there, Tristan, anything else that you wanted to add?
I've been rambling. For me, first and foremost, I appreciate you having me on your show, and I'm glad that we met in a token in Singapore. It was great. Your energy was great, and I'm glad that you're giving me the opportunity to come on your platform and kind of just talk about my journey and what I have going on, right? Because a lot of people, when they meet celebrities or a basketball player, they're like, man, what the hell is he talking about? But the fact that you wanted to hear my journey and my story and allow me to be on the platform, it means a lot. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for coming on. When I come back to the States, let's do a face-to-face, because it's always better to jam on a bit more long form, but there's a lot more to get into, I think. So I'll be there next month, and maybe I'll come check out one of the games. Yeah,
come to a game, playoff time, whenever you want, come. We'll do another one. We'll be face jam to jam. Listen, a lot's going to probably happen in the next couple of weeks. You know how this is crypto. Every week is something different. Every week is something different. So by the time we see each other, we'll probably have another 90 minutes of just what's going on currently and the state of crypto and state of everything that's going on and projects everyone's working on. So it's great.
That's awesome, man. Okay, cool. Tristan, thanks so much for coming on. We'll catch you soon.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.